many international students face. It is highly important. In fact, this to me is a very important topic that no one talks about, and I saved it for the last to emphasize on a lot because I dealt with it, and there's like a 95% chance that you will deal with this. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new on this channel, you are highly welcome. My name is Jemima Edem. I am Nigerian living in Houston. I came to the US as an international student. If this is not your first time on my channel, thank you so much for coming again. I really appreciate it. So I have been reading your requests. I have gotten your emails. I have answered some questions over email or DM. So I have listened to your requests and I am here to start delivering. I know it took a while for me to start having some sit-down videos, but honestly I was giving myself some excuses, and because I wanted to have like a proper setup and all this stuff. But I'm back and I'm here to deliver. So today we will be talking about navigating your life in the US as an international student, or maybe as a foreigner. This could also be helpful. These are some valuable tips I think you would like. Starting life in the US as an international student can be very exciting, but let's be honest, it has its own challenges. It can also feel overwhelming. Like you have new friends, new culture. Just figuring out how to adult in a new country can be extremely difficult. But don't worry, today I got your back. I will share tips that will help you to navigate this adventure, from academics to cultural adjustment and everything in between. So grab your notebook, grab your tea, your coffee, whatever is very convenient for you. Sit down, relax, and let's get started. So adjusting to a new culture can be overwhelming, but it is an opportunity to grow. And this brings me to my first tip: accepting cultural differences. For example, in the US, people are super friendly. There are things that when I was in Nigeria, if someone had done that to me in Nigeria, I would question that. For example, when here in the US, people smile at you on the street, say hi, hello. But if someone smiles at me back in Nigeria, I will question it. I'll be like, what did they try to do, you know? So here it's something that is normal, and also like be open to trying different cultural foods, because here is diverse. You can't leave Nigeria and come here to expect having Nigeria. You get? I'm using Nigeria because I am from Nigeria. Or if you're not from Nigeria, your respective countries, you can get what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah, you don't just expect that you would come here to get what you get in your country in a different country. Be open to accept the diversity. Be open to try new foods. Go for cultural events, especially on campus. They usually have like international student events that I think are absolutely amazing. So that's actually something I would say you should be open to doing. If people say hi to you, don't be shy to respond. There were times I struggled with the accent differences. I just simply asked, I'm sorry, could you say that again? Also, make your research on the certain ways to say things here, because they say things a little differently here. Like, I remember when I came here and I went to the grocery store and I was asking for plastic bag. I said, do you have nylon? I kept asking, I was like, nylon, can I have nylon? They didn't know what that meant. So make your research. They have different ways they say things here too. Also, make sure you build some support network, like joining international student events. It's actually very important in my opinion. Attend campus events, connect with others from your home country. I feel like that connection is actually very important as well, especially when especially people who have been here before you. It's very important to connect with them, learn from them as well, because everybody has different experiences and you can learn from everybody's experience basically. And one other reason why it's important to connect with people who are from your home country also is because it's really important, and trust me, like, it's super important to have people who actually can understand where you are coming from. They're the ones that would understand what you're going through, and it makes a huge difference. But be also open to connect with other people that are from other cultures as well. Make friends from various places of the world. You will always have something to learn, and also they will have things to learn from you as well. Next, let's talk academics. Don't hesitate to reach out to your professors. Guys, I would emphasize this again. Do not hesitate to reach out to your professors. It is very important. So, professors here, they are here for you. Like, they are here for your learning. That is what they are getting paid for. So if you don't understand anything in class, my dear, you can go to your professor's office and you can tell them, could you please explain this to me again? I didn't get this, I didn't get that. You are able to do it. Don't be afraid to ask questions in class. I used to actually deal with that a lot, and this was also related to one other point I'm going to bring up here, which is actually a very important point, but I'll save it for the last. It's very important for you to be open to ask questions. I used to feel really shy then. I had a different accent, and a lot of times, most of the classes I had, I was either the only black or the only African in the class. So I used to feel like they wouldn't understand my accent and stuff. But guys, don't worry. Don't worry. In fact, they love your accent. Just ask questions. Don't be afraid to do so. Do not. It's very important. Most professors have office hours where you can actually go into their office and ask questions. Like I said, you can discuss your assignments as well. Also, one other important thing is time management is key. You have a lot to juggle, like between your academic work, part-time job, campus events. There's gonna be a lot of juggling around there. So time management is actually very important. And one thing that helped me was I went to boarding school in Nigeria. So coming straight from boarding school to the US and started schooling really had its own impact. Honestly, boarding school is something, yes, I would never want to do it again. I wouldn't want my kids to do it, but I appreciate going to a boarding school. It really did give me some sort of structure that I needed in uni, and it had its own positive impact on me. So it gave me that structure, and that was why I was able to juggle things around easier than just trying to adjust to it, because now time management is even something I feel like I struggle with now, because motherhood and work and so many things now. That's why YouTube is suffering, but it's not going to suffer again, okay? Because I'm also working on that. I'm also working on getting a better schedule, routine, and everything to be uploading often. I divert from the topic, but I just had to bring that in there. Make sure you plan your days well. Do not forget that there are also other resources on campus that would help you, like tutoring. They have campus tutoring. Besides meeting your professors, you can go to for tutoring. They're usually free. You can also, there are counseling services. Actually, let me share this short story. So there was a time that I had one econ class, and I was going through a lot mentally. I was depressed, and I had to open up to my professor. Like I let him know, like, I am really lagging right now because I haven't been able to like focus to study and everything, because blah blah blah, I'm going through some personal stuff. And he asked me, that was when I even knew they had like counseling services. He asked me to go to the counseling services department or wherever. I had counseling done for a couple weeks, and he also postponed my final exam. Like the rest of the class took their exam, and he made an exemption for me. And then when I was ready to take my exam, he gave me an exam to take. I mean, it helped a lot. I made a C in the class, but it still helped me. I probably would have made an F if I had taken the exam at the state I was at then. So guys, it's very important to know the resources you have. It's very important to always reach out to your professors. They are there for you. I don't know how it is in your country or in Nigeria, because I didn't do uni in Nigeria, but based on social media and stories I've heard, I feel like they fear their lecturers and their professors. It's not like that here. You're not supposed to be afraid of of your teacher. They are there for you to help you. So guys, take these tips very, very importantly. Now let's get to the day-to-day stuff. Budgeting is super important. Now, if you're like me who came from high school to the US, I was only 18 years old when I came here. Prior to coming here, I never had the opportunity to do any financing stuff, budgeting. All I did was, if I needed anything, I'd go to my mom to ask. So my parents basically provided everything for me. I never got the opportunity to like earn any money back home or manage any form of finances back home. So it was entirely new to me. Now I hope, and especially now, I feel like people have more opportunity to earn money even if you're coming from high school, and if you're a graduate student, obviously I feel like you might have had some experiences earning money. But budgeting is very important here, especially if you're on student visa and you're living around. Obviously you'll be living around where your school is at. Guys, look for where they have student discounts. There are so many stores around that do student discounts, hair stores, some restaurants, even banks, because I used a student banking account, so they didn't charge me like that monthly fee they do. And they said, if you know how they have some deposit limits, if you don't have that much deposit, they charge you a fee every month. They didn't charge that. I was good. Transportation is also important. I schooled in a very small city. If you're schooling in a place like Texas, my dear, you have to find a way to get a car, because transportation here in Texas is like anywhere 30 minutes drive apart is like close. That's how big Texas is. Texas is a very big, what am I talking about? The cities in Texas are very big. So they are actually usually farther apart than if you're schooling in a small city. Like I schooled in a city called Ruston, Louisiana. It's a very small city, and a lot of people had cars. They didn't have public transportation. Before I got my car, I used to use my Legacy Benz. I walked everywhere. So groceries, everything, I hold it on my hand from Walmart. The thing is, they have neighborhood Walmart near campus, and I always live around the campus because I didn't have a car. So that was how I was able to transport myself. But getting a car, I would say, is important. Now you have to be wise about that. I would say that do not get a new car, like a brand new car, except if your papa get money if you afford that. But I wouldn't advise that you do that. I would advise you get a reliable used car as an international student, because besides having a car and paying for gas, there are other things you'll be doing, like maintenance, like service stuff, like oil changes and stuff, and also insurance. That's very important. And insurance varies with the type of cars you have, your age, the age of your driver's license. There are so many factors. So it's more expensive if you're I think under 24 or 25 years old, and if you're younger, even more expensive. And if you buy a brand new car, of course the insurance will be more, and you have to get full coverage. So you have to put all those factors in place. Get a reliable car that is used, and I would recommend Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry, Honda Civic. I know those cars are reliable. I feel like we all know they are reliable. So if you can get a reliable used car, it would be great. If you can't, you figure out your transportation. It depends on the city you're going to. Some cities have buses. Houston, they do have buses in some areas, but not the area I live at. So I don't know how school areas are here. But yeah, make sure you make research about that with the respective school you're going to. For housing, you can live on campus. If you're living off campus, you have to pay rent, you have to pay bills. Typically, students would be roommates. I always had a roommate where we split the rent bill. The rent costs, we split our electricity bills, gas bill, and every other general bill in the house. We split that. That helps. That's what almost every student does. In fact, if you're a student and you are able to afford living by yourself, you're a big man, you're a big woman. So that's what typically everyone does, because every student, they're mostly struggling financially, so that's a way to assist each other out. So now let's talk health. This is the next tip I am gonna share. So health insurance is a must, but the thing is, mostly it's already included in the tuition. So international students, you cannot get that coverage, but it's very important. Like hospital bills here, bruh, hospital bills are expensive, guys. They are extremely expensive. So you do not want to live without insurance, without health insurance here. And just as your health insurance and your health is important, do not forget mental health. Mental health is actually super important. I'll speak from my experience as a Nigerian, and I know in other countries it might be the same. We sort of just know how to endure, and mental health is not something they really take seriously back home, especially a couple years ago. Maybe now people are getting more awareness about it, but it's not really something that we were raised to think it's an issue for us to tackle. We rather were raised to learn how to endure things, and the more you endure, the stronger you are. Brad, not lie, be weak, okay? Your mental health is very important, and like I said, there are counseling services on campus that are free, and also there are some services that you can get with your insurance, like therapy and all those stuff that you can also pay for, or your insurance can cover. Just make sure to prioritize your mental health, because bruh, it's not easy, and you bottling things up does not equal strength. What strength is actually tackling things and also coming out of it, so please don't ever think that your mental health is not important. Make sure you're aware about your environment, or your community, or the state or the city you live at. Make sure you watch local news, or pay attention to the local news. I didn't used to do it, but you should. It's just important to be aware of the things going on. The next tip is, if you're on a student visa, you should know what the do's and the don'ts are for the type of visas you have. But there's a possibility that you can make a mistake, and just make sure you know the rules. Like, that you can work off campus as an international student. You can only work on campus. There's a certain limit for the hours. And also they have opportunities like OPT, CPT. Once you I know OPT, when you graduate, you can get that for depending on the program you are in. If you're in a STEM program, for about 3 years, work authorization. If you are on a regular program like I was, 1 year. And speaking of work authorization, let me talk about careers. Attend career events on campus. I wish I did, because the times that I had opportunities to attend those events, I either had to go for my part-time jobs, and I didn't prioritize going for it, because I had this feeling like I used to look down on myself, thinking, hey, I guess I can't work, or no one would want to hire me, or blah blah blah. Like, I was giving myself excuses not to go, looking down on myself. Go. Even if they say they are coming from the biggest companies, still go. Even if you're an international student, you feel like your work authorization will limit you, because that's what I was thinking. Go. Network, connect with people, go for all the events, go for career advising. Take it very seriously. Make sure you prioritize that. Embrace the experience, guys. Have fun and embrace the experience. The US has so much to offer, like travel, visit places that you can afford to visit. Even if you can't afford to go to like the big cities yet, especially when you just come, around the cities you are at, there's always places to go visit, guys. Be open to exploring. I wish I did. Even right now I haven't, to be honest, because I don't like to travel, but I need to learn. Because even this Houston that I live at, I have not explored Houston, and guys, I really wish I have, and I will start doing that, because I used to always give myself the excuse I don't like flying and all those stuff. But I really want to see Washington DC. I want to see the White House. I want to stand in front of it and take pictures there. I want to visit Las Vegas. I want to go to Los Angeles. I want to see the Hollywood sign. Like, those are things that are actually available in the country I'm at, but I just haven't gone. And I would advise you not to do that. Try and travel. and it will help you mentally. Actually, just during the holidays, like just find something to do, even if it's like a museum somewhere, like just something that is an experience that you've gotten in the US besides school. If you have family in the country or relatives somewhere in the country, try to visit them, especially during holidays. Visit them. America has Thanksgiving holiday, they have Christmas. I like Christmas a lot. But yeah, and I like Thanksgiving. It's like a time where families come together and celebrate. I feel like, I don't know the history behind it, but the way we defined it is we come together as a family, we pray and thank God for everything that has happened throughout the year, and we celebrate by eating food. If you don't have family here, this is how we celebrate the Thanksgiving, because you might feel a little left out, because usually on campus or whenever there's a holiday, the campus is usually empty because students have gone home and gone to their relatives and stuff to celebrate the holidays. And especially if you don't have anyone here, there are people who would actually celebrate Thanksgiving with international students and people around campus. I don't know, in my school they were really nice, kind enough people who did that. They invite you to their houses and you join them to celebrate Christmas. Just make sure you know the people you're going to. Don't just go to a stranger's house that just invites you. So before I wrap up, I want to touch on something that many international students face. It is highly important. In fact, this to me is a very important topic that no one talks about, and I saved it for the last, but this is a point that I just want to emphasize on a lot because I dealt with it, and there's like a 95% chance that you will deal with this. Imposter syndrome. It's a feeling of not being good enough. You feel like you don't deserve where you are, or you doubt yourself. You feel like you're not good enough to be where you are at. Especially when you are in a new environment, new country, new accent, new culture, new everything, guys. You are not alone. You are not alone. I have dealt with it. A lot of people deal with it. Even in place of work, I have dealt with it. Like, here's what helped me. There are a couple things that helped me, but these are the most important things I did that helped me. Remind yourself that you earned. Let me sit closer, guys. Remind yourself that you earned where you are at. Okay? I'm sitting on the floor, if in case you guys have not noticed. But remind yourself that you earned where you are at. You didn't come here by mistake. You actually worked for it. You actually wrote the exams and you passed. You did it yourself. So you earned it. You worked for it. Nobody sitting in that class is better than you. Nobody in that workplace is better than you. You are good enough. So you deserve to be in the space, the place, just as everyone else there. Do not feel like you are belittled, and do not feel like you are not good enough to be there. Also, surround yourself with supportive people. Communicate in class. That's actually one thing that got to help me. Before, I used to think that I was probably like the only one that wouldn't understand something in class, so I didn't want them to feel like I'm dumb. Guys, ask questions. When you ask, even your classmates, you'll find out that a bunch of them too do not understand the same thing you're talking about. They might look like they understand to you, but really they don't. And then I remember when I decided to ask the person next to me about something, and he was like, he was like, yeah, that they have a group me chat where they communicate to help each other out for exams and like the assignments and stuff like that, to explain stuff. Guys, I felt so left out because I didn't talk anything. Hey, which kind of English I did speak like? The class was a very rigorous class. So he said he had a group meet chat where they share tips and share ideas and stuff like that. Guys, if I didn't say anything that day, I would never have been in that group meet chat. I would never have gotten ideas or gotten any form of help with the class. Like, we were helping each other. If people found tips in textbook, they take a picture, highlight it, send it in the group. Like, we helped each other. So that just brings to the conclusion that just as you think you're not understanding this thing and you feel like other people are understanding, guys, they are not. There might be people who are, but you are not alone. There might be people who understand the topic you don't understand. There are people then those same people might not understand the topic that you understand. So guys, do not feel like you don't deserve it. Imposter syndrome is from the devil. Do not let it take control of you. Make sure you're bold enough to ask questions, bold enough to do things, bold enough to answer things, bold enough to like communicate in class. Guys, it's very important. Look at me doing motivational speaking. Anyways, one last thing I would leave for you guys is celebrate the little wins also. Even if it's acing a little quiz in the class, attending class, doing all your homework, celebrate it. Alright guys, we have come to the end of this video. I will leave you guys with this one. Do not forget to document your journey. You would always love to look back at it, share personal memories with families, and I hope that in general you have a great experience and you will be proud of yourself. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, share this video, like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.